Hello everyone, and welcome to a slightly different video than normal. Today, I am going over the passive skill tree mod. It adds a ton of content to the game, replay value, and it can be used with friends too. So, how does it work? First, you need to get some XP, of course. And then, you click on this bar to get points. And then you can pick a class and just pick whatever you want. Warning, there are only 50 points. And you have to pick very carefully because there is no vanilla way without using cheats or those scrolls, which are accessed by cheats, to reset. So, what do these scrolls do? The wisdom scroll, it just straight up gives you an extra skill point. And then Nisha scroll, it wipes your entire skill tree so you can respec it. You can also do these with commands with skill tree points. Add mononoob like 6. And then you can go up to 11. Or skill tree points add mononoob 40, I don't know. You can also set them to any number. But it cannot be below the amount of skills you have. So if you have 10 skills unlocked, you cannot set the skill point level to under 10 because that would mess up the skill tree. But you can also reset them by using the skill tree reset command. So now that everything is unselected, just like the amnesia scroll. So first, I want to go over these, the gems. Okay, last thing for real this time, the skill tree is actually capped at 100, disregard if I say otherwise. Gems are part of the first class I want to go over, the miner. Me personally, I think it's the most complicated just because of these and all the weird nuances to it. So first, I just want to give a little demonstration on what the miner can do. That's a leather chestplate because it's embedded with these gems called onyxes, and this wooden axe with moonstones which increase attack speed, making the wooden axe attack around the same as a sword and do just the normal damage. Okay, I almost got rolled. So let's begin by this. The miner's skill tree, it has things like increasing gem power, or just straight up increasing mining speed, of course, or armor, like base armor. Like, look, I'm not even wearing any armor and I have more armor points. Gem power is the factor of which a gem affects a weapon when it's imbued into something. This is weird because it is not Irisite is not affected by gem power. But certain skills can increase the gem power and amount of gems. So first, there's the ruby, which when applied to armor, it increases health regen by 0.5, and when you're holding in a shield, it increases your max health by 2.5. With weapons, it is plus 2.5 attack, and with shields and armor, it is plus 2.5 armor. The moonstone increases mining speed, movement, and attack speed by 5% per stone. Potions last longer, are stronger, and poison take more damage, if you want to look at the specific stats up here. This can go on almost anything you can wear or hold, and increases your luck by 0.25. This is a lifesteal, which when attacked while shielding, you get healed, or when you attack someone, you get healed. This one, I could not figure out how it removes stuff. But this one is funny. It adds a stat from any gem, including incompatible ones. Hold up. So what gem power does is it takes this stat and then increases it. So actually, let me just take the rest of these. So if I put rubies inside of this, wait, no, not rubies. So if I put Onyxes inside these, and I had Gem Power and Armor, it would increase the amount of armor present. It would be 3.5 in this case. And plus 2%, plus 2 armor per gem and helmet, that's cool. Oh wait, that's the same piece. And if it went from 3.5 to 4.25. So there are also the same thing for weapons on the other side of the skill tree. But here's the thing. Once you reach these, it gives you a massive buff. All the edge pieces. And with the Estrella de Fura, you get an extra gem socket and plus 30% gem power. Which is... And the same thing on the other side. You get an extra chestplate gem socket. And with the jeweler, you just straight up get a gem socket extra on everything. So if I went there, you can see that the iron sword and the chestplate, well, the chestplate only has 2%. The iron sword has 3 empty sockets. Probably because I never unlock everything. But when you look over here, there are extra buffs with the monotony, 20% more damage with the same gems in each weapon. Precious arrows, plus 5% projectile gem damage per gem and weapon. Inconsistency, precious blades, diversity, etc. So you can achieve maximum damage if you spec those accordingly. The irisite is funny because it has stuff like this. Plus 0.5 life per hit on a diamond boot is something that can be applied. Let me just get hit. Okay. I'm not getting healed when I hit with it. I'm not gonna heal when I hit with the diamond boots either, so it's only gonna work when you actually have something on it. So, the weird thing about the Adamite. So the weird thing about the Adamite is it doesn't increase it if you drink it. It increases it if you're wearing the armor while you're brewing it. So just put these aside for now. And brew some potions while having the plus 30% brewed potion strength times 3 and the plus 10% brewed potion duration. Okay, so I have my awkward potions, and I'm gonna put, I'm gonna put a blaze powder in there. Okay, in there, and wait for it to brew. You will see that right off the bat, I got a strength 2 potion, not even with a glowstone. I'm pretty sure I can add a glowstone. That lasts 3 minutes and 18 seconds. A regular strength potion, hold up, is only 1 minute and 30 seconds and has to have glowstone added to it. And it only lasts for a minute 30. I don't know if I already said that. But then I add glowstone to it. You can get a superior potion of strength, which, but for some reason worse. Okay, never mind, this one's just weird. So, now you get a strength 3 potion with a shorter duration, which is kind of bad, but you get plus 9 attack damage. I was wondering why it was weird, because the one I tested earlier didn't. So, just depending on the armor, can increase the strength and length of the potions you brew, which can pair with the alchemy class really easily. So you could have one minor class and one alchemy class, and they would pair together perfectly, just because of the stacking buffs from this armor and the alchemy class. So let's put these back. So if you want to test one more thing, I'm gonna enable all of these. And we are gonna see how powerful we can make some gear. So, we still have that leather armor from earlier. But let's increase its power. So for weapons, we can do some basic attack, increase swing speed, or we could do some lifesteal. So since we have 3 slots, let's just do one of each for now. Don't be scared. And the Moonstone. Admittedly, because crit spamming, you likely don't need the Moonstone. And the Moonstone only gives a 10% attack speed buff. And that's a lot stronger than an Iron Sword normally is, with a +5 attack damage. Almost doubling the damage of the Iron Sword without any enchantments, which can be further stacked with the Enchanter. So this mod is great with friends. And with the increased mining speed from earlier, we can just set 3 Moonstones on here. Never mind, only 2 Moonstones, oops. And then let's go down to the mines, because of all of these increased mining speed things. Which I'm surprised is not given early in the skill tree, but this is just a regular iron pick. This is a netherite pick action. And if you enchant it, this is an iron pick. Things can get real crazy real fast. And the Iron Axe, if you put 3 Moonstones on it, I think you can put 3 Moonstones, yes you can. You can make it attack the speed of a sword. This is sword speed, and this is gonna match the damage of the Iron Sword. You can crit spam with an axe now, almost. You see the timer jumps a little bit more than normal. And it does not matter if you don't have the skill tree. So right now I'm going to reset the Amnesia Scroll. I am going to lose all the armor buffs and all the mining speed buffs. But the gem power is still applied to the weapon. See how it says 5 attack damage? It says 2.5 attack on the stone. But the double gem power from the combination of all these skills still applied, because it matters who's making the thing and not who's wielding the thing. But so now we're going to move on to the next section. Quick break to explain what saturation is. Saturation is the invisible hunger bar that determines how much you heal from food, and it also is consumed before your regular hunger bar when sprinting. So, for example, a steak, I get 4 hunger, and I get 6.5 bars of saturation. The 6.5 bars of saturation and hunger being shown are from the Appleskin mod. So it's going to show on our bar. See, our saturation decreases along with our health, and then it stays stagnant once our health is fine. But then when we start sprinting, our saturation bar begins to go down. So now you understand what saturation is. So, for explaining the cook, I'm going to do a little bit different this time. I'm not starting creative, but I'm going to start with all the skills. So what these skills do is a block chance, which is basically, while doing anything, there's a chance of just it being automatically blocked with a shield. And with this one, it is based off your satisfied hunger points. And these just increase saturation, 3% damage per satisfied hunger points, 50% attack speed if not hungry, maximum life per satisfied hunger point, stuff like that. These are buffs to your food. This one's great. It increases critical hit damage per saturation point. And these, they increase your damage too. This is critical hit damage and this is regular damage. And this one is life on block if not hungry. And this one just increases cooked food saturation. And then you could also increase cooked food regeneration if you go down and in here. So what this is based on is actually what you cook. So if I gave myself a beef here, There we go. And then I compared it to a regular steak. Here are the buffs that you have given the food that you just made. 112% more damage, 48 crit damage, and 3 health regen. But that's not the only thing. It's also based on what you cook. So if I crafted a hamburger right now, it would be even higher buffs because of the higher nutritional value. So now that I have all the ingredients, I'll just put them here. And boom. The buffs are higher than this one because the saturation and hunger value is higher. But now, if you look at a more extreme food, like pumpkin pie is not more extreme, but squidding pasta, it's just an example from the, I accidentally messed it up, but you get what I mean. So, if we eat this hamburger, we're gonna throw up all these crazy buffs, and if I give myself a shield, let's spawn. My hands are off the keyboard right now. And all these food buffs too. I'm taking no damage while also having hunger. And all this saturation is making me have a very high block chance. So I'm just chilling in the corner. And then one tapped. Remember the crit chance thing. The cook is an insane support class. I could probably take on an iron golem, summon an iron. Okay, which steak was it? This one. Yeah, this. Okay, the block chance stopped working, but you get what I meant. If you included the armor from other classes, you would go crazy. Okay, moving on. The Hunter class is primarily about ranged damage and increased loot drops, with the evasion chance thing being a niche little thing that honestly isn't very useful. Honestly, increase the evasion chance and I'll give it a shot. But it would be unfair if it was fighting against other players, I do agree. So, to begin, actually let's go survival mode. We can look at the drop rate. There is a 15% chance of doubling the loot dropped by enemies with more projectile damage and other stuff along the way, but this is what we're looking at for now. The 15% double loot chance, we're just gonna go here for the further increase of the double loot chance here. And this one is the triple loot chance, 5%, but there's no further way increasing it, so I still don't think it's that useful. So give myself a diamond axe. The cow normally drops like 3 to 4 beef. Cows can only drop 1 to 2 leather, and this one drops 4. So it doubled the drop rates of one of the items. 2 and 2, nothing. 1, 2. 2, 2. 2 and 1, going. 2 and 4. Cows can only drop 3 beef. So that means it was 2 beef that got doubled. 4 and 4. 2 beef and 2 leather that was originally a drop, but they both doubled. So the double loot is very useful when running farms and just helping out other people, I'd say. It's a good place to start early game if you get food and stuff. And it pairs pretty well with the cook, I'd say. So now, we're gonna look at the other thing. The bows. Crafted ranged weapon attack speed. So projectile hit challenge. Challenge. Sweep myself some leather armor. So, plus 7% evasion chance. And this one has an essential socket, which is useful for the miner if you remember. So you can just hand that over to the miner, and then he could add some stuff for you. I think. So now I have this bow with a 1.28 attack speed. Pretty sweet. Now let's further expand this. And the sniper ability is super good. And the weapon socket's extra too. You can probably look at that if you pause. So this draw speed on the bow is actually crazy. Okay, so now let's test something out. I generally did not test this. I just thought of this. So I'll make a crossbow. It does work. And now you can pair to something else. Let's see if it works. Of course, you have to have a firework and an actual explosion. Pair this with another class like the Enchanter or the Miner who can imbue your gear with stronger stuff. And you are a monster, because nothing can stop you with this reload speed. Because even those classes that use shields, like Cook and the Blacksmith, they can't stop you if you have a piercing crossbow. You are incredibly strong as a hunter with ranged weapons. And how much evasion chance do I have? 7, 14, 28 plus all of these. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just say I have a 40% evasion chance. So now let's find an enemy. That's not a witch. Outsnipe the skeleton. Outsnipe the creeper. It's genuinely devilish. But now we have to actually test the evasion chance on the skeleton. There we go. And look what happens when we evade an attack. The arrow just bounced right off. Okay, that guy just garbage showed up. Yeah, this evasion's getting pretty unlucky. Okay, please. RNG. For the love of RNG, please. There we go. It deflected off. And notice how it wasn't a real projectile, because it didn't bounce back and hit the skeleton and do damage. Let me just... mix up a hamburger. Now I'm gonna show you something interesting I noticed. The odds of none of those deflecting. No, I literally sat there for 5 minutes and tested. The odds of that, none of those deflecting are incredibly low. So if you're planning to do like a PvE kind of thing with this, don't use a hunter class. It cannot be deflected by pre-summoned mobs for some reason. Maybe just a skeleton. Who knows? But maybe just don't use hunter against pre-summoned mobs because it only works against natural spawning ones. So keep that in mind before you use the hunter. But now let's test one more thing. So I'm going to summon an Iron Golem, and we're going to see how much a crit really does. Okay, that's pretty strong already. And that's with no enchantments. It already sent him to the next stage. I'm assuming that's a crit. So now we're going to enchant this with power 5. Going to summon another Iron Golem. 2 shots. That's why, in order for a ranger to be powerful, pair it up with an enchanter or a miner, and then you are golden. Especially if you get further in, and then you get the extra socket, where the miner can further improve on your power. Sure, I couldn't think of the word. So, now, moving on to the next section. After seeing how the other classes can one-shot, you're probably wondering, how can the blacksmith keep up? Well, if you look at the skill tree, you can already see something very interesting. equipment to ability. Great. But crafted melee weapon damage is already something you can increase heavily. And the shield damage and armor. But we're gonna look at armor first. So crafted armor BSNs plus 15, plus 15, plus that's 60% more. And just straight up plus 10 armor. And that's not even with like wearing armor. Just straight up get 5 bars of armor. And then you plus more crafted armor defense. And then plus 45. So if you add these together, plus 15, 15 times 7, plus 45. 15 times 7, plus 45. That is 150% higher defense on your crafted armor. And now, let's try and do that now. Give what I need. Now, 7.5 armor for a helmet, 7.5 for boots, 15 for leggings, and 20 for a chest plate. Now, if you look at this, I have one and a half full bars of armor. I have a mod called, what's it called? Overloaded armor bar, just so I could see it. I have 2 bars. Just this diamond armor, with all of these stats, and without all these extra ones too, gives me 3 armor bars. I'm gonna take these off and give myself another 24. Now we're gonna pop, 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 and pop, and pop, 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 pop. Now we're gonna see how much that gives me. Armor toughness is higher now. Now what is armor toughness? Armor toughness is how much durability your armor loses from taking attacks. So now, if you look at this here, how much bars of armor is that? Okay, we gotta separate these. Now, put on the helmet first. That's one quarter. Boots. Your leggings. That's like 3. I generally don't know how much armor this is. Can't even add these up properly. So now, let's summon an iron golem. 1 heart of damage from an iron golem. I'm getting spammed by it. Okay, he died now. Bop. Bye-bye. Now, when we look at the other stats. 10% damage of shield. Attack speed of shield. Crit chance of shield. So now, we're gonna do all these. We'll look at that later. Maximum life per armor on boots. And all these shield damage buffs. We're gonna look at this damage buff last. Oops. Okay, so now we're gonna take this shield. And all this health is coming just from our boots too. Let's decorate it. There we go. Alright. Now we're gonna summon an iron golem. The reason why it's not doing that much damage is because fists don't do that much damage to begin with. So I'm gonna give myself a sword to give it a little bit. Okay. Three crit iron golem. I'm gonna have to fix this later, alright. 3 crit and iron golem, which is insane. So now if we further increase that with crafting melee weapon damage, light alloy, whatever this is. Oh, melee weapon attack speed. And with all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 extra damage on this. So if I give myself a... If it's 9 and 7, it should end up as 16. 16 attack damage, and look at this attack speed. It's 0.25 faster. And crafted shields armor, too, down here. And then it adds 5 extra armor. So I'll take this banner too. Pop it on here. Plus 5 armor. Even more. So look. Armor bar is increasing even further. And now with that extra shield damage and increased armor, basically unstoppable unless these other classes come after you. Then you might be stopped. But then just straight up increases damage. Who doesn't want these? Protect damage, shield. All these things are great. I don't know why you would have a bow and shield in your hand at the same time. That's kind of nutso behavior. But that's basically the rundown on this class. It is just great. But I was always forgetting one thing. Plus 0.15. I have at least like 100 armor. Like 100 times 0.15. That's 15 extra damage. Plus all these extra percentages and stuff. So now I'm going to summon down and go down. Unenchanted diamond armor. Unenchanted axe. Unenchanted shield. I don't even know what the shield would be. But all these percentages, they add up to this. But remember, you only have 50 points. And this mod is still in beta. This could be completely nerfed if you watch this like a month or a half later. Just keep that in mind. Moving on. The thing I found to be extremely shocking is Enchanter is probably the weakest one here. I don't know, I have no idea, I haven't done Alchemist yet. So far, Enchanter is the weakest one. Turns out, doing 1 billion damage is better than having Sharpness 6. Just check this out. So I'm gonna take a bunch of... Also, you can enchant books really efficiently. So if you look at these skills, there's free enchantment chance, honestly really good stuff. Enchantment strength, enchanted weapon, more damage. 5 weapon enchantment strength, enchantment level, yada yada. Enchanted axe damage. Honestly, not much to say. But if I apply it here, breaking 4, pain of Optifine 4. Unbreaking 4 is not a regular time in the regular game. Protection 5, pretty good. Protection 4, that's real. Protection 4, Unbreaking. See, I'm getting all these free enchantments. Pretty neat. Depth Strider 5. I actually want to test that out after. 5. All those free enchants are actually pretty convenient. Actually, there's experience. Add motive. Use some of these. 5. Fortune 3. 4. 4. But the real value from the Enchanter comes with pairing with the Blacksmith and Miner. Pairing the Blacksmith and Miner with the Enchanter. If you had all 3 of these, you could probably insta-kill almost everything. Insta-kill. If you had 2 of those, they could insta-kill everything. But the value in the Enchanter comes more in the tools. It doesn't really do much damage. A sharpness 6 or 5 is great, but it's not going to do too much. Knockback 4 book. Oops. This is 4. Projectile protection 3. Inner bots 4. Power 4. Inner bots 4. Piercing 4. Better falling. And these are the level 2 enchantments here. If you are too lazy to make up a leisure farm, this is the way to go. But this is the most important thing to remember about the Enchanter class. You need XP to unlock more skill points. The Enchanter requires a lot of XP. And a lot of these, you can use right off the back, except with the exception for Alchemist and Enchanter, of course. You can use these things right off the back. All these other things. But I saved these for last, because you cannot use them right off the back. You are waiting until you can unlock an enchantment table or an alchemist, and you are they're taking XP away from each other. The enchantment is taking away your resources to level up your skills, and the skills is taking away from your resources to actually use the enchantment stuff. So make sure to keep that in mind before you pick Enchanter. This is the weakest one, but probably one of the strongest when paired with something like the Blacksmith. The weakest alone. Okay, I may have forgotten to give an example, but before we move on, here's an example of a weapon with a ton of enchantments. 2 different weapons. A sharpness 6 weapon and a looting 5. It has just kind of enchants. Here's an Iron Golem. 1, 2, 3. Now this goes to Chef. 1, 2, 3. Now this goes to Blacksmith. 1, 2, 3. Not as good as the Miner. Moving on. Last but not least, we're going for the Alchemist. Weak against mobs, I'd say, but dangerous against players. This is gonna kill you. It's gonna kill you. So, let's just look at the skill tree first. You can mix potions together, and all of these harmful potion strength, damage against poison increase. We've seen this before. You can add poisons to melee weapons. Damage against poisoned, life under poison effect, evasion chance. Beneficial potions effects increase. Critical hit damage against poison, more life under potion effect, higher attack speed on potion effect, higher evasion chance, higher brew potion strength, higher damage per potion effect. Stack these and you are a menace against other players. Just, I don't know how you survive. That's fine for another day. So first, let's just make some basic potions. So I have prepared a bunch of these. Just stick these in here. To start out, I'm gonna make regen, strength, and some regen potions, which is probably what you're gonna use them for. Actually, let's check out the base results first. So first, we're gonna see strength 4 potions off the bat, and then when further strengthened. Let's see how much healing. Instant health 4. So again, regeneration 4. Now let's look back at here. Strength 6 for 2 minutes and 33 seconds. Instant health 6. And let's see how much this is. Regen 5. And now we can combine these. Oops. Mixture. Oh yeah, I forgot you can't combine these. So, you can have the ultimate healing potion, which is why I'm low. Just one shot of that, and I have regen 5 for the next 30 seconds. Still not going to have against other players' one-shots. Remember, this is more of an assassin type. But there is one thing that makes this class immensely powerful. Where is it? It's a big red X. And it must have a secret. The most dangerous possible weapons. Instant damage 4. This is not even the peak of its power. And then combine these. Splash mixture of assassin. 2. You can kill an iron golem in 2 potions with direct hits. I should get another mom. Spiders, that means a poison. I forgot. Oops. The thing that really turns the alchemist into a demon is not just the strength, but the damage against poison. Aids the fight against. Remember, it does not work on undead or the spiders, but this damage against poison. It hurts, man. So we can test this on the Vindicator. Right here. You can already see we're doing a lot more damage than we regularly would. Let's just let him get be poisoned. Okay, I got road. Let's pretend that never happened, Audrey. But remember, the damage we were doing, it's good. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. But the damage is exponential. It's based on percentages. So now we try it again. Okay. I got rolled again. My excuse is I have no armor. But you could see how much damage that wooden sword strike did to him. The thing that really makes you a demon is this effect. What is it? This. Poison Blade. You can apply poisons on melee weapons. Damage against poisoned. That more damage with a poisoned weapon. Add adamite in the weapon. Now, let's give this wooden sword some poison. Please don't get rolled this time. That would be very embarrassing. Okay. Okay, the first hit's not gonna do much. Bye-bye. Just explodes. Now we can summon Iron Golem. I'm going creative for this. I don't plan on dying for the 5th time. The thing that makes the alchemist strong against others is no amount of armor from the blacksmith or miner is gonna protect you from poison. That's what makes the alchemist strong. Also, all the stupid buffs you can give your friends. Strength 20 or whatever. Healing, all this instant healing. It's great. Also, it's all great. It's all great. As support. So, let's finally talk about the final verdicts on which ones I think are the best. For early game, obviously, miner goes to S tier. Because, miner. Blacksmith goes to S tier because of that crafted melee weapon damage is insane. And you're gonna need to use a shield anyway. And all this free armor is actually goated. It's insane. And his crafted armor defense with iron armor, that could give you way better than diamond armor. Super early game. Super early game. All you need to do is kill a couple mobs and you are golden. So, what belongs in F tier? I'm afraid it has to go to Alchemist because this is early game. You are not getting a brewing stand unless you go to a village, but even then you have to get blaze rods. So Enchanter goes D tier. Also mobs are gonna start spawning the time I said for that same reason. And then Hunter, his bow it's not that good. But then I'd say Miner goes A for that mining speed buff early game, and then Cook here. Because Cook's extra saturation is always good. Until we get to late game. So, Blacksmith, obviously, I'm sorry, but this thing, Colossus and Precious Metal, them together, just Blacksmith, easy S tier, and Miner, cross down to C tier, and then Hunter. And I gotta say, Enchanter, Alchemist, Cook. Sure, Cook gives you insane buffs. Alchemist gives you insane buffs. And killing potential, yeah, Cook does too, but Alchemist even more so. The block potential, I'd say this one. I would say beginner friendly, but the achievement of ingredients is easier. But this is a late game tier list and not an early game tier list, which is why Cook was much higher than it was down here. I have no idea if this is correct. Someone could probably find some better builds or better reasons why Hunter deserves S tier, Blacksmith deserves F tier, Cook deserves A tier, S tier, whatever. Cook deserves S plus. Who knows? I am still new to this mod. I have not done a playthrough with it yet because I spent this whole time researching. So if you have any more information, please share in the comments and I'll make sure to pin or heart whatever you find. And remember, this mod will be updated, probably. And a lot of things will change. So make sure to write stuff in the comments. I'll pin them. Anyway. So, before we finish the video, I wanted to do one last thing. What is the most possible damage I could do with every single skill? So I've encountered an issue. It caps at 100. So now let's rethink this and do this optimally instead. Oops, reset. So now I'm doing this most optimally. So shield plus. Definitely here. That's accurate order. And I'm doing most numbers, but do, yes. Yes. Yeah, on Cook. It's about next. Not next episode. And I think that's all I can do. This is the best I could think of. So, now we're going to test everything else. First, we're going to grab an awkward potion, get some blaze powder, and some glowstone. Now, I think we have everything I could possibly do. No way, enchants, of course. Probably this. Okay, whatever. Good enough for now. Summon Iron Golem. Or Iron Golems. Let's see. So that's the most damage one person could possibly do. So you get two-shot a wither alone. This is a telltale sign too. Nerf everything. I hope you enjoyed the video. This took me all day to make. And honestly, it was pretty fun. I might make a playthrough with this. Who knows? It might be a SMP video. Maybe someone else's SMP video, because I don't even know if I want to do this goddamn mod anymore. I'm so tired of it. Yeah, I'll be over by tomorrow. We'll see. Anyway, have a nice day. Make sure to watch this video, because it's really good. And have a nice day.